beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-October 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so last few weeks or month. Column number 2, we're going to take just a general look at what's happening for the remainder of October. We're also going to do a money column, a love column, and in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note for you. But let's see here. Our summary card for our first column, again, what's wrapping up and coming to a close, is core. This is about doing what feels good for you. This is about getting reconnected to yourself. Definitely the heart, very illuminated in this card. So again, being connected to you and be doing things that feel good for you. The nice thing, Sagittarius, that's in what's wrapping up and coming to a close. So I would say that you've done a really good job of that. Well, let's see what we've got going on here. The first card that we have is the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is a card of self-imposed restrictions. If you look at this person, they're blindfolded, their arms are bound down, but there's all these swords stuck in the ground where they can very easily wiggle back and cut themselves free. I will say, Sagittarius, it feels like your heart and brain almost were not working on the same wavelength. And this is more about getting reconnected to yourself and getting reconnected to what feels good. So I like to see this kind of synchronicity and this balance and this harmony, this inner harmony again for you. The next card that we have is the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is a card of celebration. It's also a card of family, friends, and reunions. But if you look at this card, the 4 of Wands is almost like a finish line. It's crossing the finish line. It's getting something done. So I do think you had a major accomplishment or celebration. And I do, again, see family, friends, and reunions kind of in the mix of that. At the bottom here, we have the Death card. I always like to throw out there the Death card does not mean death, but it does indicate big changes, endings, time to move on, transformation. So it's really big change. However, I do think this change is going to be good for you. Again, it's following after that core card. This change is something that's being driven by what feels good for you, Sagittarius. Let's clarify this column, though, and see what other messages we've got going on. The first clarifier we have is the 7 of Cups. When I see the 7 of Cups, this oftentimes means it's been very busy. So in this case, the last few weeks or month have been busy. But this is also a card of having lots of different choices and kind of being non-committal. When our brain and our heart are not thinking together, or in general we're feeling kind of disconnected of what feels good to us, it makes it very hard to pick one thing and commit to one thing. So I'm not super surprised to see this. This is again busy, but it's kind of that non-committal energy because we weren't synced up and connected the way we needed to be. The next card that we have is the Ace of Swords. Anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness. With the case of the Ace of Swords, this is new ideas, new mental clarity, definitely getting back to the point again where we're doing what feels good to us. We have that inner and outer harmony. And then at the bottom here, we have the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles is a card of waiting, a card of delayed success. You plant these pentacles and then you have to sit and wait for them to grow. This transformation is going to take time. That's kind of the message that's here. It takes time to find ourselves. It takes time to get us on the path that we need to be on, going in the direction we want to be going in, doing things that feel good for us. Okay, Sagittarius, let's take a look at our next column, which is anything for the next few weeks, kind of a general look at what's going to happen for the remainder of October. We have the summary card, Revision. So revision is kind of a literal card. This could be an indicator of a revision or a change in plans. And the important thing with revision is like, it's a reminder that it's okay to change your mind and change your opinion and change your focus. You're allowed to make changes. You're allowed to make revisions. You're allowed to grow. But let's see here what messages we have. The first card we have is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is kind of a gloomy card. You see everyone's facing away from us. Their heads are hanging low. There's a bunch of swords stuck in the boat. But if you look at the boat's heading in a forward, positive direction. So for that matter, even though the card looks gloomy, the Six of Swords is a card that I really like. It's about going through a necessary transition. In some case, this could be physically moving or relocating as well. But it's an indicator of that transition. It's saying that that revision is needed, that change is needed. And again, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your position or perspective on something. The next card that we have is the Tower card. The Tower card is kind of like a tower moment. It's unwanted change. It feels kind of like upheaval. Things just not playing out quite the way we hoped they would. With the Tower card, I like to explain it in very simple terms, like you planned for ABC and DEF happened instead. I will say the Tower card change doesn't always feel the best just because, again, it's not exactly what we wanted. But the Tower takes us where we need to go. So you do have lots of change cards kind of sprinkled in here. Sagittarius, you have the revision, you have the Six of Swords, you have the Tower, all of these indicating change or revision. Then we have the Two of Pentacles at the bottom. The Two of Pentacles is about weighing your options. So it's like looking at option A and looking at option B and thinking about pros and cons of both. And I think what the message is here is like the transition is necessary. I think that you're going to know, see, realize, feel that, Sagittarius. But the Tower, again, is going to take us to a point where maybe we were not expecting. And it's weighing your options from that point forward. Where do we go? Let's take a look here, though, and see what other information I can give you. The first card that we have is the Star card. The Star card is a card of renewal, hope, inner clarity. I really like to see this because this transition is going to give you renewal. It's going to give you hope. It's going to give you the clarity that you need. It's going to put you in a better position. I was already telling you the Six of Swords takes us exactly where we need to go. The Tower card is also changed, taking you exactly where you need to go. So it's nice to see those kind of lively spirits on the other side there. The next card we have is the Nine of Wands. This is a card of keeping and maintaining boundaries. It's also a card of persistence. So persistence is going to be the important thing here. Just because ABC didn't happen and DEF happened instead, you can't just like give up on what you were trying to accomplish. You just need to refocus and revise your plan on how to get there. So remain persistent even though this isn't exactly how you planned it to be. Then here, the next card we have is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a card of giving or receiving help. It's very generous, more so than anything. So we have the balance beam here. We have this person using their hands for balance. You need to go after the path that provides you with balance and take that however it resonates, Sagittarius. That's my advice there. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. Think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, really whatever you associate with money. The first card that we have is the Ace of Cups. Anytime we have an Ace card, it is a card of newness. The Ace of Cups is typically baby, relationship, proposal, marriage. But there are a few of those words that jump out, relationship and proposal. So there could be a new business relationship, a new business partner, a new mentor, some really strong relationship. This could also be a business proposal, so a new job opportunity, again, a partnership proposal, a merger proposal. So definitely a new proposal or relationship coming in these next few weeks for you. The next card that we have is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is stagnant energy. It's quite literally hanging there by the foot. It's like you need something before you can move forward from this position. Some sort of missing piece of information. We're going to clarify that, of course, but it's like I feel like you're waiting for a piece of information before you make a decision on something. And then at the bottom here we have the Chariot. Somebody once described the Chariot to me as the vroom vroom card. It means there's action, there's change. It's about being on a journey. I like to see this following the Hangman because, again, the Hangman is stagnant, and then you have the Chariot where there's movement and progress. So definitely there will be movement this month for you once we get whatever this missing is with the Hangman. The Chariot could also be a new vehicle too. I like to throw that out there because this is the money and investment column, so that would be a new vehicle. Let's go ahead and clarify this column. Look at that, Ace of Cups on top of Ace of Cups. I think it's worth throwing out there too. Some of you could be getting ready to go on maternity leave as well. But again, this is that new relationship, that new business proposal. I always like when I get the same card on top of each other because it's like the universe saying, I said what I meant. So definitely something new coming in with the Ace of Cups at the top there. The next card that we have is the Strength card. The Strength card is a card of self-love, unconditional love, self-respect. Courage is a big thing with this card too. The lion, of course, meaning courage. But I feel like you may need the courage to move forward from this point of the Hangman. But this is also like a self-respect or self-love thing. Like you're setting this boundary that you're not making this decision until you have all the information. So I like to see that. This is like standing up for yourself type energy, Sagittarius. But again, you will have the courage to move forward, but it's like you're holding out till you get what you need, and it feels good. It's the right thing for you. At the bottom here, we have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is very studious, very hardworking. I feel like you need to stay committed to this path, to this journey, to this movement forward. That was kind of the message I gave you earlier as well about staying persistent. The Page of Cups, though, could be new relationship as well. So definitely it does seem like there's some sort of new business relationship or person associated with money coming into the picture. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to love. So think family, friends, relationship, children, marriage, whatever you associate with love, Sagittarius. And the first card that we have is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups, for some of you, so I'm going to give you a couple different takes on this. So the Eight of Cups is a card of withdrawing, retreating, moving on. And with the Eight of Cups, this is also about going from like good to better. Some of you are going to withdraw, retreat, abandon a relationship. So some of you could be moving away from a love interest, a family, a friend, or some of you could be moving forward in a relationship. So it really could be going either way. The next card that we have is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. This is about reflecting on past events and thinking forward. It could be thinking about, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff that we've been through and that's advancing the relationship. Or it could be, look at all this that we've gone through, it's just not worth it anymore. But this reflection is either driving you forward or driving you away, if that makes sense, Sagittarius. At the bottom here we have the Fool. For those of you that are stepping away from a relationship, I do see a new relationship coming quite quickly. Or again, for those of you advancing the relationship, this is like the next step. The Fool card being fresh hope, taking chances, new paths, new adventures, new beginnings. But it's like two stories are being told in this column. The first clarifier we have is the Six of Cups. We already talked about the Six of Cups. They didn't happen to land right on top of each other, but still the same message. Again, it's this reflection of what we've been through that's either moving it forward or pushing the relationship apart. The next card that we have is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is very active. It's new project, new creative idea. It pairs so nicely with the Fool. It's again, new relationship or it's new next steps in the current relationship. And at the bottom here we have the Two of Swords. This is that decision of stepping away from a relationship or that decision of continuing to proceed and move forward with the relationship. So two very different stories being told there this month, Sagittarius. Now let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guide, something to carry into the month of October with you. We have the card Patterns. I like patterns. Look, first off, this card is just so cool. It's so detailed. But this is about breaking patterns and creating new patterns. It's like new you, new patterns. New you, new habits. So getting rid of habits that are not serving you well and instating new habits. An example of this would be like maybe you have a really crappy sleeping pattern. So you stay up all night long and then are tired all day. So it's like setting a new pattern of going to bed at the right time. Obviously, it's just an example and will not apply for all of you. But it's about having healthy patterns, getting rid of patterns that are maybe not so healthy. Let's see what messages we have under here. The first card that we have is the Knight of Wands. I like the Knight of Wands because when I see this card, it just like yells freedom at me, and I know that's weird to say, but this is a card of freedom. These new habits and patterns are going to be such an enabler. You are going to feel so good with these new habits and patterns. The next card that we have is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords has so many meanings, but I'm going to tell you here, this is like a card of truth where it's finding out information and like just continuing to build off the not very good example of staying up all night, not getting enough sleep. It's like you're starting to realize the impact that has on your life and you're adjusting accordingly because of it. But it's like you're seeing the other side of this habit or this pattern, which motivates you to correct it and create that freedom, that new habit for yourself. At the bottom here, we have the Three of Cups. This is a card of celebration. These patterns, interestingly enough, are something that you are going to immediately reap the benefits of and be so glad that you did. Like I said, it's like immediate reward, immediate celebration of the adjustment of these patterns. Let's clarify out this column here. The first card we have is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a very resourceful card. This is about being resourceful with your resources. So again, going back to patterns, this ties in really nicely. If you have no energy, but you're staying up all night, well, those go hand in hand. So you're going to use your resource of time to sleep more. Or let's say you're not saving enough money, you want financial freedom, going back to the freedom card with the Knight of Wands there. The way that you do that is by adjusting your spending patterns or adjusting your saving patterns. So this is all about being resourceful with the resources you have. The next card that we have is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is a really good money card. This is a card of luxury, self-sufficiency, financial gain, solo pleasures. But it's, again, you need to like realize, again, the truth coming out about what you're doing. It's like you realize you're spending too much money or you're not sleeping enough. And the interesting thing with the Nine of Pentacles, this is a card of self-sufficiency. So it's like you have to correct these habits. You have to change your spending habits. You have to change your sleeping habits. You are the one that has to correct these patterns. I'm getting that these patterns like are not very influenced by others as much as they are just influenced by you, Sagittarius. And at the bottom here, we have the Magician. The Magician is one of those good cards no matter where we have it in the reading. It's about turning visions into reality. It's inspired action. You can have whatever you want and you're going to be very successful in what you want. But again, it's like I was telling you with the Three of Cups, it's like you're immediately being rewarded. So it's like whatever you want, you will get almost immediately. So just that change in pattern and you'll immediately reap the benefits there. Okay, Sagittarius, at this time I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use our Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the 9 of Clubs. This is number 26 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is the 10 of Diamonds. This is number 8 card. That's going to be a no. And question number 3 is the Ace of Spades. This is number 37 card. That's going to be a no. So yes, no, no for you. If you watched your video earlier this month, we did pull a card from our Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you through the month of October. Your crystal this month is fluorite, which is good for order, structure. It helps you know when to say no, gives you clarity of thought, and helps with that healthy ego. And last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Your Healing Note says, somehow in the midst of struggle, life finds its way to take care of you when you open yourself to receiving healing, and all will be well. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. If you feel inclined, I'd include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you so much, Sagittarius, and I hope you have a wonderful October.